Happy nighttime. I'm getting my boat ready to leave Suva and heading for Kadavu, which is about 50 miles south, so I feel like it makes more sense for me to leave at night, sail through the night, and then arrive in the morning with good daylight because coral. I took a lot of footage of the sail to Suva as well as the city itself, but my GoPro had an unfortunate incident where the audio completely stopped working. Luckily I was in Suva, which is a big city, so I was able to buy a new one, but I did lose all the footage because no audio doesn't really make sense. But basically Suva is a big smelly city. I went there because I had some errands to do, and while I was there I filled my boat up with water, bought some necessary things that I needed, spare parts, etc., etc. And then after spending about 4 days there, I got out as quickly as I possibly could to sail to Kadavu, which is an island about 50 miles south of Suva, just really beautiful. Hardly any sailors go there, I'm not sure why, because it's absolutely gorgeous and the people are so friendly. So I'm just getting ready to go. I hate leaving at night. I was all snuggled up in bed and then I had to get up and do stuff. But I have my boat all ready to go and now I just need to up the anchor. Luckily it's really shallow here and there's no wind, which is scary, but there should be once I get out of the harbor, so that's good. Half moon and a lot of city lights, so good viz getting out of here, although I will put the spotlight in the cockpit just in case. Navigation lights. So this is the big island Viti-Levu. I'm here in Suva and I'm heading out of the bay and then 50 miles south down here to Kadavu. Really beautiful. Apparently this reef is really nice. There's not going to be a lot of wind when I'm there, so I might hang out in all of these areas. Like, oh god, I could go in here. That would be pretty. Yeah, there's a lot of options. I am motoring out of the harbor. Maybe you can see me silhouetted against the harbor lights. Went to go turn on my spotlight because I saw something suspicious. Spotlight either doesn't work or it's out of batteries, so we are relying on the half moon, the city lights, and luck. I just passed my friend's boat coming into the anchorage while I was on my way out, which is kind of sad, but a fun little passing coincidence. I have every single one of my running lights on because I'm trying to light up the water around me because I don't have my spotlight, and there's a lot of shit. There's like shipwrecks and buoys and stuff, so I'm trying to not hit anything. But I texted them and I was like, hey, I am the Christmas tree that just sailed past. Morning time! Wow! My voice cracked. I'm a prepubescent boy. I'm approaching Kadavu. Just about to make my final tack, and then I think I'm gonna have to take down the head sail and motor in because the pass is directly against the wind once again. Gotta love these passes. Who made them that way? So right now for the satellite charts, I'm using this app on my phone, Offline Maps, and it looks like this. Oh gosh. I always do this and I'm always surprised when I can only see my own reflection. So you can see there's a little bit of reef here, which probably corresponds with this reef. And then, okay, I'm still figuring out. There's this function where you can draw a route. So I planned a route through the coral before I'm in the thick of it, but it's really like, I'm used to where you pick points and it draws a line between, but this one you just draw a squiggle, so obviously I'm a bad artist, but this is where I'm going. It looks like a really nice anchorage right in here, protection from the east, and then in 2 days the wind turns north, but I can just sail up to here, or there's a ton of islands. Alright, this is something I really love about my boat. When the wind is forward of the beam and my boat is perfectly balanced, it steers itself. So you can see right now the wind vane is not attached to the tiller, which means that it's not doing anything to help steer my boat. My boat is just steering itself close-hauled. If I let the sails out a little bit, my boat will turn off the wind and it'll be able to hold a course based on the sails up to about a beam reach, and then once the wind's after the beam, it doesn't really work as well anymore. But I was just, how lazy can you be to not take 10 seconds to connect the lines to the tiller? But also I was just curious, but it's just kind of like good job, boat moment. I just arrived. I have this whole little island to myself, which is so beautiful. Anchored in about 30 feet of water. I'm gonna go dive my anchor. There are some little pieces of rock here, so I just want to make sure my chain's not hung up. I'm really excited. After 5 days in Icky City anchorages, I'm finally in paradise.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know.
I've sailed about 15 miles over to an island where some of my friends have been hanging out. They've made friends with some of the locals who live in the village, and we are providing the gas, and they are taking us out to a beautiful snorkeling / fishing spot. Hopefully we catch something. Oh, sweetie, is that too heavy for you?
You say when? Yep.
We are the team waiting in the dinghy. Yes, ground support. Hopefully other people were able to catch fish because we have nothing. After a lovely day or two hanging out with friends, I took off once again to go anchor up by myself, hermit style. Since I finally have my new laptop, I've been catching up on a bunch of editing, and I'm in a spot right now where I'm the only boat for miles around. It's really beautiful. I've had to move every day because the wind keeps shifting. It's sort of doing a clocking thing. But right now I'm in the lee of this gorgeous island. The only problem is that the cell phone tower is on the other side of the mountain, which means in the anchorage itself I have no cell service. So I just edited some YouTube videos and some snacks for my patrons. I've put them on the micro SD card on my phone, and now I'm going to row ashore, walk across the island, and sit on the beach where I can see the cell tower and do all my uploading because I'm in a dead zone in the anchorage. So it's kind of fun to be able to edit my videos in such a beautiful remote place and then upload them on the beach. I mean, it definitely has taken some planning and coordination. You know, something I don't talk about a lot is how I need to schedule my cruising around having internet at least once a month so I can do the uploads. The editing part normally is really easy because I just edit wherever I am. In this case, I had about a month where I couldn't do any editing because I was between laptops, so it's been a little bit of an edit marathon the past couple days, but I'm finally done, and it feels really good to just kind of sit on the beach, get all this work up online for Tish to schedule for me, and feel like I have another month and a half where I don't need an internet connection and I can just enjoy being in the moment and filming it so that I can bring it to you guys, an authentic feeling of Fiji. Okay, so basically as soon as I stepped onto the beach, you can see I have LTE reception, so I'm going into my Dropbox snacks, and we're gonna upload some of the snacks that I made for my patrons. This one and this one, I believe. Here we go. Yonder lies the cell tower. Ain't this something? So the reason it's so cloudy right now is because there's a low pressure system passing south of Fiji. And when that happens, it causes the winds to clock, which is why I've been moving anchorages every day. So it goes from east to northeast to north. Today it's north-northwest. Then it's gonna switch to west and then south. And the northerlies usually come with gray skies. So it's not the most inspiring weather anyway, which makes it good to sit inside and do a bunch of editing. Okay, everything's uploaded and I'm heading back to my dinghy. The clouds are super crazy today. It's really beautiful, sort of on and off, sunny, cloudy, strange, weird weather. But everything is uploaded, so I'm really happy. Now I'm gonna go home and do some chores, do some sewing projects, do a little bit of cleaning, and get ready for leaving tomorrow to sail to the next place. So I have a very interesting evening. The wind for the past 3 days has been clocking, so basically I'll get 12 good hours in an anchorage before it shifts just enough to make that anchorage untenable. And the wind is supposed to shift to the south. Both models that I'm looking at agree at 7 in the morning, but the one thing I've learned from being in this part of the world for the past 2 years is that when these wind shift clocking situations are happening, nothing is ever guaranteed. So the southerlies kind of punch in at about 25 knots, which is going to put me on a lee shore of this island, which is bad. So I am going to get out of here at 5 in the morning, which is an hour and a half before sunrise, but I have really good tracks leading out through the coral, so I'll just follow those, and I want to be extra sure that I don't get stuck in a bad anchorage. Before I go to bed, I'm going to set up my whole boat. I've already taken off the sail cover. I'm going to lash the dinghy down, get the head sails set up, get everything ready to go, so that if there's a wind shift in the middle of the night, like at 3 in the morning or something, the southerlies decide to come, basically all I'll have to do is jump out of bed, up the anchor, and I'll be ready to get out of here. I did debate just leaving tonight, and originally that was my plan, but the westerlies are so flaky. Basically the forecast is 5 to 20, which is just miserable weather at sea, because that means the wind vane won't hold a straight course. It'll be a night full of squalls and a night full of me sitting out in the squalls. So I'd rather get up every 45 minutes on anchor to check the wind direction than be sitting in the cockpit in the rain dealing with squalls. And that's why I've chosen this. It's 5 in the morning. Wow, I sound like a grandmother. And it's raining. But the wind is starting to shift, and I think I have to go, but this is the worst case scenario because I can't bring my iPad out in the rain, but I really need it to see my track line, and it's dark. I'm hung up on coral, but I can't wait for it to stop raining because when the wind shifts, it comes in at 25 knots from the south. This is sort of what it is now, but this is not great because I need that track line to get out of here. There's so much coral, so I need to think of a way that I can be watching the track line and be seeing it at the same time. It's stressful. I'm feeling time pressure now too because I don't know when the wind is going to shift. But if it happens when I'm still motoring out of the reef, that would also be really bad. This is uninspiring weather. But I get to wear my new sou'wester. Actually, my new old sou'wester. Pretty flat. Okay, I just got my anchor up. I was a little stuck on coral, but I managed to drive around off it. It was kind of scary at first because I couldn't see the coral, and normally my tactic is to dive on it, but obviously I can't do that. This is a strange experience for me. The only thing I can see is my navionics and my track line. I'm looking at that in the compass to try to steer a straight course, but it's really hard to steer a straight line with no visual guides. So I'm kind of I'm struggling. I feel like a drunk child. It's a lot of concentration because I know that this path weaves through a lot of coral, so I can't really mess up. It's still raining a bit, so the iPad has to be inside, which means I can't be as zoomed in as I'd like either. Well, it's daylight now. Things are, you know, visible now, I guess. Still raining. The wind is slowly switching to the south. It's kind of interesting to see. I'm about to be in the lee of this island though if the wind does go south really hard, so that's nice to know. I'm out of most of the maze of coral, which is also good. And just unfortunately I have to have the engine on because the wind is pretty light, and that means I have to hand steer, and I won't be able to put on the wind vane until I get far enough away from land that the wind stops playing. And yeah, just kind of wet and happy I made myself a thermos of tea before I went into the cockpit. The southerlies are kicking in. I am just slowly getting headed as I curl around, because first it was westerlies when I was going west. Now it's southerlies and I'm going south, but I'm almost at the pass and then I can turn off onto my course. I put 2 reefs in the main because I don't know if it's just the wind coming off the mountain, but this shit is strong, and often with the entry of a front like this, you can get like an hour of really nasty wind. I've seen anywhere from 20 to 45 sustained for an hour or two, so I wanted to be prepared. I'd rather be a little underpowered for the first bit. Would you believe it? The sun is out. Southerlies have set in. I am just getting out of the pass now. Probably going to put up the headsail so I can go a little faster. Last night was a pretty nice night. I slept really well. Today it was around 3 o'clock. I was approaching Taviuni, which is the island I was aiming for, and I had just gotten into cell service. So I called the hospital because the whole reason, well, there's a couple of reasons why I'm sailing up to Taviuni. One is that I'm meeting up with friends. Whoa, I look bald. And the big one is that I have this really nasty infection on my hand, which I'm not going to show you guys because I don't want to gross anyone out. But it's like I should have gotten antibiotics a week ago situation. And for those of you who will ask, I do carry antibiotics on board, but the last time I took them, I had an allergic reaction, pretty bad. And it runs in my family to be allergic to penicillin. So I have to get amoxicillin, which I don't have on my boat, so I have to go to an actual doctor. So I found out when I was about to go into the harbor there that the doctor's office is closed all weekend. Today's Friday. I wasn't gonna get in time for it to be open still. So I had to divert course another 40 miles. I'm sailing to Savu Savu, which is where I cleared into. I'm probably gonna get in the middle of the night, drop anchor in the dark. The pass is big and it's fine. I've been in before. But if you want to know what it looks like, I can paint you a word picture. Imagine, I can't say that either. Hang on, let me think. Imagine a donut, like a big puffy old donut, glazed in shiny red, with red in the center, bulging out of a red cake. And the wind is crazy. It's so gusty. For about 3 minutes, I'll be 45 degrees upwind of my course, you know, pounding into the waves coming over my deck. And then the wind drops, and then suddenly I'm 45 degrees off my course with the head sail flapping because I'm about to drive. And the wind vane. I'm just like, hello bro, can you help me out here? But it's not, so I just put on, it's pretty chilly today, it's really cloudy. I just rugged up in my gear and I just have to sit out in the cockpit for the rest of the trip and help the wind vane because it's not gonna steer me. It's getting colder! I don't really have that many warm clothes out. I have some stuff stuffed underneath the V-berth for when I get to New Zealand, but I'm just kind of layering up, so nothing really matches. I'm wearing tie-dye with plaid, but I am just trying to layer up and stay warm out here in the cockpit on steering duty. Such a rough life. It's a little past 8:30 and I'm approaching the outer reef to get into Kusto. So I'm not going to go all the way to Sabu Sabu tonight because it's an extra 5 miles, and honestly the anchorage there is, I mean, the people are great, the anchorage is super protected, but it's pretty loud at night. You're either up in the mosquitoes or you're down opposite the bars, so I'm going to stay by this, it's like a nature resort thing. You can anchor out from there. I'm coming into the anchorage now. I'm seeing some anchor lights. I really hope there isn't someone anchored in the spot that I was before, just because I know that that's an okay spot with the coral. Otherwise I'm totally just guessing. In a cruel twist of poetic justice, it's raining, and so I end this trip as I began it, in the dark, in the rain. Woohoo, it arrived. There was someone anchored pretty much exactly where I went last time, so I've played a little guesswork. Backing on my chain, it didn't feel like it was hung up on any coral, so that's good. I am a little closer to the resort than I'd like to be, so I'm getting some resorty noises, some whoops and yells and drums and drunk shenanigans, but it's kind of raining, so I'm gonna have to keep the hatches closed anyway, and tomorrow I'll probably move to a better spot. I think I'm anchored a little close to the resort. Well, not really, just for my own taste, not for them. So I'm just gonna put the sail cover on in the rain and then call it good for the night. Yeah, I'm glad to be in. Tomorrow, doctor's office. Very exciting times. Thanks for watching this week's video. This edit is coming to you from New Zealand. That's how far behind I am on my videos, about 3 months off. So hence the fleece thing, the slightly paler face. I put up new videos every 2 weeks on Mondays, and for my patrons, you guys get a snack on the weeks I don't put out full-length YouTube. Also with my patrons, we get to message each other. I take requests for videos if you guys want to see specific parts of my life that I don't show in my YouTubes. If you'd like to become a patron, my Patreon is patreon.com/windhippie. For one-time donations, I do have a PayPal, paypal.me/windhippie. And I am currently trying to raise funds because I just had to buy a new used engine for my boat because my current one seized. That's all going to be coming to you soon on YouTube at some point. And also I need new sails, and my wind vane broke. A lot broke on the passage from Fiji to New Zealand. So any donations to help me be able to afford these things is very much appreciated. Those can be sent directly to my PayPal. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, thank you to Tish. I edit all these videos on my boat, and then I upload them, and she helps me schedule them, and she reminds me when there's a video due, and stuff like that. I do have merchandise down there if you want to buy t-shirts and other things. Check it out. Join the Wind Hippie Merchandise Sailing Team Club crew. Thank you guys for your comments. I love reading them whenever I have a chance to get a connection to the internet. I'm in New Zealand now, so anyone who's in New Zealand, keep an eye out for me. I am in undisclosed locations on the North Island, sailing around. So, yeah, I think that's it. Bye.